Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I trust that your Labor Day weekend was awesome. So let's get into this new episode recap of today's Days of Our Lives, September 3rd, 2024. So we see in the first scene where Kate informs Abe about, Roman agreeing to have the pub being used as the backdrop for Body and Soul, but Abe said there may be some complications, as regards to casting because of Chanel and Alex, and personally they have some beef going on. So he's like, how could this have happened and all that. So he's like, they did have some past history and some past romantic history where it involves both of them and Ali, right? And he betrayed Chanel's trust by being with Ali, who was Chanel's girlfriend. So it caused a little bit of tension between the two of them. So what happened after that is he's saying that it's not even about the two of them working together. It's also maybe Chanel's husband may have a problem with that, right? So they're just hoping that things get ironed out between all parties involved, right? So we flash forward to Alex, Chanel, and Johnny, because Johnny and Chanel, they're excited about auditions. Chanel, is auditioning for a certain part, and she still didn't know who her romantic interest is. So lo and behold, Alex comes in, and he's like, he's auditioning for that exact part. So she's like, how can this be? Like, you have no experience in acting. Like, how did this come about? So he's like, Abe saw us arguing the other day and think that we have chemistry. So he gave me the part, to audition for. So I'm taking it that he didn't tell you guys. So they said no, they haven't been notified, even though Abe texted them and tried calling them, but they didn't pick up. But anyways, she just really has objections to it because of past history, and I'm saying it shouldn't come in the way of you guys working together and just keeping it professional. You can put all that BS aside, right? And he's like, you're married to Ali's brother. Like, it shouldn't be a big deal right now, and she is like, I just don't see how this is gonna go. But anyways, let's move forward. So we go to Gabby and EJ, right? Because remember, they were in the bed on Friday's episode. In bed, they did the deed, to spite Nicole and Stefan and whoever else got in their way, right, of happiness. So, Gabby's waking up from a dream she had, being in bed with Stefan, but, she woke up and it was EJ, and EJ woke up and he's like, considering how I'm looking right now, we actually really did it. And she said, yeah, we did. So he's like, regardless of this being enjoyable yesterday, like, I still am mad at you for what you did to me. And Gabby's like, I feel the same way. I haven't forgotten what you did to me. So at this point, EJ gets up and he's like, so what do we do now? Do we tell Stefan that we did the deed? And Gabby's having second thoughts because she's like, she really don't want Stefan to find out. She wants a minute to just hold back. And, Stefan, EJ is like, if you're really over him, why does it matter? And I'm asking the same question. Like, why does it matter if you're quote unquote over Stefan? Like, she's like, any love I had for him is over. So I don't see why she feel any type of way, like just putting it in his face. But she's hesitant about it. And EJ did understand at some point that, listen, I get it. I was in some relationships before, and I would feel a type of way too. So we go back to fake Abigail, right? And she, she's at the mansion. She gets a call from Chad, and she's like, okay, time to get into character. And, Chad is asking how her night was at the mansion. She said she slept well, considering she's around many demerits. So he's like, that's what I was worried about. Was everything okay? So she's like, yeah, she was just looking for Gabby to have breakfast with. So Chad is just inserting himself like, okay, I can come over if you want to, to have breakfast with you. And she's like, no, I'm not really hungry. I'll just grab, yogurt or something like that. So Chad is just not getting the hint that she just doesn't want him around. So she's like, besides, you got to be there for the kids. And Chad is like, all right, okay, let me know if you need anything. So I'm like, Chad, listen, Chad is just extra hovering over the lady. Like, Lord, I get that you're excited that she's presumably alive, but come on, it's annoying. So at some point, Stefan comes in, and Stefan is like, I take it Gabby filled you in on everything that happened. So she's like, oh yeah, how you took advantage of me while I was mentally incompetent. So he's like, yeah, I mean, it's something that I deeply regret, and I'm not really, I don't feel really good about that. So she's like, oh, he begins to say, Gabby's doing it because of the whole thing that happened between them, the affair. So she's like, oh yeah, I bet, but don't forget that you're a creep. So he takes that. Then he started talking about the whole thing with Gabby, what Gabby is doing right now, and he's trying to find her. So he's like, she's like, listen, she's angry, and you have to just give her some time to get over that. But anyways, she did tell him to just go knock on the door again and see if Gabby's probably there, right? So we go back to Chad, right? Stephanie's over there, and Stephanie was just asking him if she could go visit Abigail, or is it too soon. So he's like, it should be all right. She's like, I was hesitating because, she doesn't remember anybody, and it probably would be too much pressure and all that. So he's like, no, it should be good. So then, she asks how, him and Abigail are getting along, and he's like, it's really awkward right now because they're like strangers, and he just doesn't want to feel like he's hovering over her, it's too much. And she's like, no, it's not too much, like you just got by the love of your life, and it's a blessing. So it's understandable. I'm thinking he's just too much hovering over this girl. But anyways, she did say, I think a part of you still believe that Abigail was alive. That's why he couldn't fully commit to me. And I'm like, Stephanie, you shouldn't even bring up that. But anyways, she did head over onto there, right? So we go on over to the studio, right? And Chanel, is Chanel, Johnny, Abe, Kate, Alex, right? So Chanel gives Abe grief for not letting them know about Alex, and he's like, I'm sorry about that. So Kate said, in his defense, he tried to call you guys and text you guys, but you weren't answering. So, he still apologizes for that. It is what it is. So, they still agreed to read the lines together, and you could sense the chemistry between Alex and Chanel, and it was really provocative. It was passionate, all the above, and it led to them actually having a kiss scene, and it was really passionate, and you could tell that Johnny's really bothered by it. I don't know how this is gonna go because they already have a past history, so maybe they could rekindle it. Maybe Chanel cheat on poor Johnny, who knows. I just feel like those things are bound to happen with such close proximity. But anyways, they did hire the both of them for the job, and Johnny and Chanel went out, and Abe tells, Kate went out too, and Abe tells Alex that he did a phenomenal job and looking forward to working with him, right? So Johnny and Chanel are in the square, and Chanel is over the moon about her performance, and she's like, she's gonna look forward to just nailing the part. And he's like, even if it's working with Alex. So she's like, yeah, I can keep it professional. So he's like, are you gonna be affected or bothered by him? No, we just have to just work with it. I'm thinking you're more bothered by it, Johnny, but you're just leading on. So Chad is at the pub, and he bumps into Kate, right? So Kate is like, how is everything going? I heard about Abigail. I just can't believe this is true. Like, I almost thought that it was fake news, and Clyde was up to his old tricks and he was lying. So, they're just there to catch up. I really won't hold you on this scene. So we go back to fake Abigail, and she's on the phone with presumably Dr. Green, right? She's saying, I finally get a chance, to get away from Chad. Chad is back at the Horton house, and I'm here at the mansion. He's not hovering over me, right? So we can get back to our plan, right? So at this point, Stephanie comes in. I don't know if she heard what fake Abigail was talking about, but we'll see what happens with that. So while EJ and Gabby was talking about, just holding back and not telling Stefan what just happened between the two of them, Stefan walks in, and Stefan is just shocked at what he sees. Gabby, his wife, and EJ, his brother, on the bed in barely nothing, right? So I know it's gonna go down according to the spoilers. You know, there's gonna be a fist fight between Stefan and EJ, but I am here for it. So that was it, guys, for today's episode recap. Thank you all for the support thus far. You know, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys tomorrow for an audio recap. All right.